Mitch McConnell's probably been on life support for a couple weeks now. I think it was Lindsey Graham or somebody that, who was it? Somebody was like, oh, I just had a 20-minute phone call with my good friend Mitch McConnell from Kentucky, and we talked about all this stuff. He's sharp as a knife, you know. And it's like, oh, isn't this what they did with Joe Biden? This feels like the Joe Biden thing again. And it's like, okay, if Mitch McConnell is having 20-minute conversations, maybe he could call somebody in the press. And then they asked Donald Trump, how's Mitch McConnell doing? He goes, I don't know how the hell he's doing. He's like, I don't know anything about that guy. I don't know. Welcome to Loaded Talk. I am your congressman, the third most popular candidate to ever be. I am Frank, and along with me as always...
What's up, planet Earth? I'm Bean.
Bean, bad to the bean. All right, so here we are. We didn't take a month off in between episodes. There's no disasters. Though I guess there will come a time soon where there'll be... Anyway, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it, Charlie. Everything's fine. Speaking of disasters... I was listening to the Sean Ryan podcast. He's a special forces guy, you know. Sometimes, depending who he's interviewing, he's not a high energy guy, you know. So it can kind of sometimes I just have to go somewhere else, you know. But his guest in this one was Candace Owens, which is why I watched it, and I haven't listened to the whole thing yet because it's over 4 hours. But the crazy thing is just how crazy she doesn't sound. She sits there just calm, blah, blah, blah. She talks through all of her stuff. And, you know, I don't watch her show. I don't listen to her. I see clips, and sometimes in her clips, she's, you know, full of energy. And you go, I don't know, this stuff just sounds crazy. But I guess at some point... Like, she mentioned, like, the Kanye stuff, right? And she said that...
Wait, which stuff?
You know, I don't totally know. But around the time when he was like, the Jews, you know? And when he goes, the Jews are threatening to ruin me. And then they said, you can't say that. And all of a sudden he lost the ability to bank and do business and been work in the music industry. Because he was lying about the Jews. Which I know we said it at the time, but for the love of God. Jewish business community. Leaders in the Jewish world. When someone says the conspiracy that Jewish people are trying to ruin my life and take away my ability to do business and bank and things like that, responding by taking away that person's ability to do business and bank and things like that really doesn't help. It's not helpful to the overall message that the thing he's saying is hateful and not true. So just maybe don't do that next time. But anyway, I guess around that time he showed a text message from his trainer, who's basically told him to like apologize for what you said, or like I'm gonna get you locked up back at Cedar Sinai, and send you back to get you all doped up and send you to Loopy Town or whatever. And I guess he showed his text message like, see, look, they're threatening me to if I don't apologize, they're gonna I'll never see my kids again because they're gonna admit me into the loony bin. And you go, that is odd. It's odd that the trainer, who she says retired from his job in intelligence in Canada, the Canadian version of the CIA. He worked there, and they stopped to be a personal trainer in Los Angeles, according to what she said.
That's suspicious.
It's a little odd. It's a little odd. So yeah. So she says that, and you go, I don't remember hearing anything about any text messages and threats. I mean, I remember him saying lots of stuff and wearing crazy outfits and making his lady wear crazier outfits or no outfits at all. But she could pull it off. She could pull it off. And he did get thrown out of Italy for banging on a gondola. Anyway.
In a trash bag.
In a trash bag. Yeah. Well, he was training, in a trash bag, getting that sweat going. Yeah, so it's hard to say on Kanye. He just came through Tampa. They tried to shut him down. He did like 2 nights at Ray J. I don't know. All these people go, shut him down, shut him down. It's like, if he sells the tickets, who cares?
The Bucks play at Raymond James, right?
Yes, Charlie.
And the owners of the Bucks?
That would be the Glazer family.
Huh. Weird.
But they don't own that stadium. Tampa Sports Authority does. And so they negotiate the deal. And so they go, hey, we can't get out of this contract. It's written that way. And then the press was like, we found emails where they helped word it in a way where it couldn't be canceled or whatever. And you go like, yeah, I mean, I don't think they rent Ray J for free. And I have a feeling that if they go, all right, book for 2 nights, whatever that fee is, and all of a sudden DeSantis and Jane, what's her name? Is it Castor?
Yes.
If all of a sudden they're like, we don't want the Kanye. Get out of here, the Kanye. I'm sure they got to get that money back. So, I mean, I understand not wanting to give that money back. Anyway, whatever. He's selling out stadiums. People want to hear his music. That's because he writes bangers. Yeah.
I mean, I heard that it was a good show. I also heard he was an hour late.
That adds up.
Showed up, played all the classics, and then just dipped out and didn't address the lateness or anything else.
Why would you address it? Kanye West, of course I'm late.
I love it.
You going to be on time? Well, and I wonder what time the show was. My dad's got this story of going to see the Rolling Stones at the Liberty Bowl in Memphis. And just hot as hell, everyone's dying. They didn't have enough water. Like, they sell out of water and everything else. And so as my dad's there just miserable in the heat in the middle of the stadium, he starts looking, and he's like, look at this giant lighting setup. Like, look at all of these lights. These guys aren't going on while the sun's up. They didn't spend all this money on lights to go on while the sun's up. And so sure enough, they didn't. They didn't go on until the sun was down and they could use the lights. So I wouldn't be shocked if Kanye was just like, wait till it's dark.
The stage is very cool. I'll give him that.
Was he still like standing on a globe? Yeah. That's what he did over in Los Angeles. All right. Anyway. And so Candace was also talking about, the Charlie Kirk stuff. And it sounds like she and you might be on the same page on a number of things. You're the exploding microphone. Yeah. I guess it's called a Petin explosive charge or whatever. Shake explosive or something. Anyway.
Can't find any details on it because the manufacturer's building blew up.
Oh. Well, and okay. So she, once again, all right, we're just going to go down.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. Well, and she said that, I guess, there's a picture from Charlie inside the van after he's been shot, and there's what looks like broken black glass around him, which would be what the travel mic would look like if it had broken. Like if you just smashed it on the ground, that's kind of what the debris would look like. And but she was saying that if you go to, you'll love this. You're gonna love this, Charlie. All right. So Butler, Pennsylvania. All right.
Okay.
The firefighter that actually lost his life when that kid shot him, right? Who they haven't investigated at all. They just say case closed. Bongino said that Trump said we're good on it. We're good on it, okay? Because why would you care at all about the person who tried to shoot your head off? It's probably a lone wolf. That's fine. Don't even look into it. Anyway, so the firefighter that got killed, I guess his good friend a year or two prior or whatever had died in a strange fire. He was doing like a bonfire, burning stuff in his backyard, and something kind of exploded. Well, he worked in a place that used petting explosives for mining or whatever, for drilling wells. And so I guess around the time that guy died, no. Yeah, maybe. Oh, so that guy died. Then the firefighter gets shot. And then the pagers, the Israeli pagers, which used petting explosives, that occurred. And I don't know. I forget what point she was making. But basically, the firefighter that did end up getting shot and killed, he was connected to a guy that used to... At the place where he worked, there was a problem that people were like selling some of these explosives out the back door.
Of course.
Yeah, so there was an investigation about sort of a black market petting explosive deal. And so, like, that happens. So that's going on. This dude dies. His friend gets shot. And then beepers. And I don't know. Who knows? All that to say, we're beginning the Charlie Kirk evidentiary hearing. So there's a lot of stuff being relived right now. A lot of theories they're talking about. She gave some background on, I guess, the Superman neck, that stopped the bullet, the miracle. I guess that was accredited to a surgeon, but sources close to things tell Candace that it was actually Charlie Kirk's widow, that asked the surgeon, like, how can you explain that the bullet didn't go through the neck, And he's like, I don't know. Maybe there was blah, blah, blah. She's like, yeah, maybe it's just a miracle. And, he ate really healthy, and maybe he's just, really was the Man of Steel, because that movie was out, and it was just a Christian miracle. And so maybe it wasn't actually the surgeon who came up with it's a miracle he ate healthy, so his neck was strong, which is an odd thing to say. But anyway, so Tyler Robinson is on trial. He's not dead yet. And let's see. They are... Open up. So there's stuff going on. One of the weird things... So this is... Okay. It's an evidentiary hearing, right? This is not the actual trial. So this is basically... The state is presenting all the evidence they got. The defense can kind of object. I mean, they have room to object and cross a little bit, but it's not a trial. So it's not, what they let in is a lot greater than what they'll let in the trial. So like hearsay, you can't just present hearsay. You can, you can figure out ways to get it in, but, hearsay, obviously you're going to get an objection over here. You can't just present that as evidence. In this, you can kind of present it as evidence, and then like it's the lawyer's job to figure out how to like get it in there, So it's different rules. But one of the weird things is all about this DNA stuff. So there's a screwdriver and a towel, and they got some DNA on both of them. And the screwdriver, you go, all right, so you have a screwdriver, I guess, for your sights, or, yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends on what kind of gun it was. Iron sights. Did he have iron sights?
I don't even remember.
I think he had some big optics, but on an old gun. So maybe.
And the gun didn't match the caliber.
It was like, yeah, they keep saying 30-06, but wasn't the gun? It was a 30, or some other caliber. It wasn't 30-06. It was close, but it was. I don't recall. Yeah, I don't remember. I'd have to jog my memory on that one. But yeah, the screwdriver is a weird one because a lot of times, I guess sometimes it's for the sites.
Distraction.
Well,
Sorry.
anyway.
My bad.
Well, on that note, let's see. This is just a little thing about this DNA thing. Okay. This is according to PBS. They still exist. Thought we defunded them. How do they still exist? I don't see any ads. Well, actually, there's a bunch of ads right there. All right, people still supporting them. Whatever. Lawyers for the suspect accused of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk. They're expected to keep questioning the reliability of DNA testing. The prosecutor said links the defendant to the suspected murder weapon when a week-long hearing continues. So a member of Tyler Robinson's defense team interrogated a DNA analyst from the FBI about the techniques she used to connect Robinson to a rifle found wrapped inside a towel at Utah Valley University, where Charlie Kirk was shot in September. Let's see, defense lawyer Michael Burt cast doubt on the analyst's conclusions, a theme that's likely to come up again 5-day, blah, blah, blah. She can't match Mr. Robinson to the questioned samples, Burt concluded. The Deputy Utah County Attorney, Ryan McBride, countered that the reliability of the DNA testing could be examined if the case goes to trial. See, that's kind of the thing. They go, just toss that out now. He suggested the preliminary hearing is not the time to make it better. The point is there are explanations that are susceptible to different interpretations and arguments. The court is going to determine if it meets the threshold of reliability. Let's see. Yep. So after Robinson's roommate and possible boyfriend provided a DNA sample for comparison, she was able to rerun her test and attribute all the DNA to two people. So, yeah, they found a towel and suspected murder weapon, a bolt-action rifle with one spent round in a wooded area. DNA on the towel matched two people. The person said one was Robinson's roommate, Lance Twiggs, and the other was very likely Robinson. How very likely? Twiggs, a key figure in the prosecution case, will not testify in person. Yeah. Let's see. How do they say it's? Why just likely? Defense attorney questioned Hall's handling the crime scene on the day of the shooting. She also asked about the bullet that was found on campus at a different location than the alleged site of the shooting. Said the bullet was traced back to a law enforcement officer who had cleared his weapon, ejecting an unused bullet. That's odd. The same caliber? Is that what we're saying? Endangered others, an aggravating circumstance, can make a crime punishment, who cares? Several appearances. Hull said the defendant went to the amphitheater where Kirk was later shot and contacted a representative did not give details on what occurred during the interaction or if members. Okay, whatever. Okay. But basically, because I heard some audio on the matter, and I don't know why they're saying they can't. I guess somehow Robinson has not been compelled to give up his DNA, or he's been smart enough not to. And that's how. But he's been in jail. You'd think they could.
There's plenty of options.
Yeah, grab his fork. After he eats, you take his fork. You take his cup. You just pin him to the wall and swab his face. He's in prison. But really, I mean, the food opportunity is the easiest. But okay. A towel?
You're going to get me going, man.
A towel with two people's DNA on it. What are we talking about? What are we what are we talking about? What kind of DNA? Yeah.
Wait. Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Right.
Why?
He had to wrap his rifle in a towel, and he took the
only one?
The only one. I had a good time. A little good time.
Okay.
And he goes, I'll grab the towel that's leaning up against the door. He wraps the rifle just.
I wish we were a part of this trial.
We could be the old guys on the Muppets just sitting there. And the screwdriver, too. I understand prints, but there's DNA from 2 people on a screwdriver? They didn't mention it in this one, but that was the thing. There was a towel and a screwdriver. And they were talking about both. And like both of them had a little bit of twigs, a lot more of berry or whatever. But I don't know. I guess it sounds like the defense is saying they're not conclusive it's Robinson's DNA, which probably means they haven't gotten his DNA, which once again is incredible if that's true. But still, like the towel I get, and even if it, even if it was hair from both of them, using the same towel or whatever, the screwdriver, like what do you do? What do you have to do to get DNA off of it, like onto a screwdriver?
I mean, the only thing I could think of is like some sort of skin cells, but
Fuck.
the likelihood, though.
The likelihood that this screwdriver just sitting on a roof here, outdoors in Utah, like a skin, and that the scientists are going, well, they found a skin cell. That's crazy. I can't, like in the oils from your skin on a plastic handle, is that enough to be able to pull DNA off?
Maybe. I don't know.
It sounds odd to me. Anyway, so that's a big thing they've been fighting about is the DNA on this towel. And a screwdriver.
That's it. That's what you guys got.
They've been talking about other stuff. That's the only thing that really got me. I was just like, what? Old Candace, she believes that old Twigs is actually a Fed. Yeah, so she thinks Twigs was there and being the roommate / boyfriend helped, make sure DNA was acquired. And then she thinks that Robinson was involved with maybe with the plot, perhaps, but that his job was to take some clothes to the what was it, like not a Subway, but Dairy Queen or something. Like he was shown on camera at Dairy Queen with some clothes or something. So she's like, I don't know. So she goes, maybe he's involved, maybe not. But if he was involved to the extent of maybe running some clothes to the Dairy Queen out back, and that was his task, and then he's the patsy. The patsy. Go ahead, Charlie.
I agree.
You want to.
I agree. I agree.
Okay.
He's a straight up actor.
Oh, you think he's an actor and not a patsy?
Oh, no, he's definitely an actor.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think he's on IMDb.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm on IMDb. Can you milk me? All right. I don't know. You want to say anything Charlie Kirk related before we go away from this?
Well, the only thing that I could add to that is the wound on Charlie Kirk's neck. From what I've researched, was an accident. It was not. It wasn't supposed to look. It
was supposed to be that gruesome.
It was supposed to be, I think, more down here rather than up here. But that's.
They were they were discussing how the mic was on the inside and the magnet was on the outside, and perhaps this was done because of high wind situations. I don't remember the footage. It didn't look particularly windy, but they are outside. It's possible, but it's an unusual setup for a microphone because, you get all the T-shirt sounds. Normally the mic's on the outside and the magnet's on the inside. That's why it's so flat and smooth.
When then the location is that little area is like a trench almost.
Yeah, like it goes down.
Yeah, so to me, wind wouldn't be as big of a factor.
Right. And so then you go, why would you have it on the inside of the shirt? And how did the necklace break? That's a good question, I guess.
And it can't be the first time he's worn one of those. So you think he would be like, hey, why do you have it on backwards?
Well, they might just go, wind. We got it. If your audio guy goes, we're going to do this for the wind noise, you go, all right.
Audio guy.
Well, and so this is another thing she brought up. I guess everyone should just listen to the Sean Ryan podcast. We got 4 hours to kill. But that's what we do here. We advertise for other people. Paid advertisement. He pays us in red gummy bears. He makes his own gummy bears, and that's like one of his big products.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like not like not weed or CBD or anything. He just makes he just makes gummy bears because he likes gummy bears.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool.
I'm tempted to try them because I do like gummy bears, but I'm not tempted to spend that much money on gummy bears to order them on the internet. Anyway, anywho, what were we?
Audio guy.
Yeah, so she said that behind Charlie was a camera guy who was part of the normal Turning Point crew, and he was like a very experienced AV guy, and like he was packing up his camera and everything, and so she hollered at him and was like, "Hey, I saw you packing up the camera real quick. Like, was there anything odd? It seemed weird that you wouldn't, you wouldn't keep filming." And he was, "Oh, yeah, I just didn't." And she said he got real nervous sounding. And at first he was like, "Oh, yeah, I didn't want Erica to have to, like, relive that or whatever." And she's like, "Well, it's live streamed." And he's, "Oh, yeah, well," and then at some point she's like, "Well, can I see the footage?" And so then he's like, I don't even know how I'd send that. And she's like, "You know how to send files?" And yeah. And so basically kind of hemmed and hawed, and she kind of stayed on him. And he's like, how about we FaceTime and I show you over FaceTime?" She said, "Okay." And then she did a screen record on it. And so I don't know what she saw. Just that there's nothing happened on the back of the shirt, and that basically no blood back there, no exit wound,
Just a big puff of air.
Yeah, exactly. And so according to Candace Owens, so just whatever that means, she said that I guess it was there was some people freaking out. I guess the FBI called the Turning Point people and asked if she had a copy of the video, and the guy's like, I showed it to her over FaceTime. And so then they were freaking out, and somebody called her husband to say, did she make a copy of that video? And he's like, I don't know, I don't do this, and it was after that they were like, she has a copy of the video, that they came out and said the Superman neck thing. So it was after she had a copy, according to her, that the Superman neck thing was put out there. Yeah, I don't know. It's one thing that is totally accurate to say is we have not had, and I mean the trial's coming up, so we'll theoretically be getting more details on the Tyler Robinson thing. But we haven't had a whole lot of, like, even when they showed us, like, we went through those text messages and they just showed us a Word document where they said they transcribed it, and you go, you can't even show me screenshots of it. And like, no, it's a Word document. You go, all right. And then even the thing, like, I'd sit there and I'd say, well, I mean, his dad turned him in, so he has to believe that his son was guilty. But then once again, we've only gotten that story from, Kash Patel and all them too. So then you go, did that actually happen? I don't know. But when you take Butler and that kid, where they're just like, in the investigation, don't look into it, you go, I mean, why not? This guy, appears to have attempted to kill, former and future president as he made a speech. We don't want to look into him at all. Like, at all. And then Joe Kent said one of them, was it the Charlie Kirk one or the Butler one? But, he was the one that said one of those two, as they were investigating, started having ties to something outside of the country. there was a foreign actor involved, and so they were gonna chase down that lead, and they were told to stop. And he goes, I'm allowed to do, here the DNI or the national, the whatever. What are they? The DNI is the head of the Office of National. What the hell is Tulsi in charge of?
Homeland Security?
She was specifically the intelligence side. You got the CIA, you got the NSA, and you got the national whatever. Who cares? That's gonna drive me nuts. It just blipped out of my brain. Anyway, he was like, it's within the purview, and they're like, nope, stop. So like all the we've not been given satisfactory explanations for these things. And when you don't have satisfactory explanations, that's when people start going, well, let me look for some reasons, And Charlie Kirk's family, and I don't know if that is his family or his, his wife and household family, but his family apparently has requested that, everything be shown. Like, show everything to the public. Like full transparency, open kimono, which is good. So we'll see everything that there is to be shown and see what happens. But I don't know. It is interesting.
And they cemented the place the next day.
They took out like 10 inches of soil and they put in pavers the following weekend, which. Also strange. I get it. It was already planned. Yeah, but somebody wasn't murdered there at the time. I guess you go, the soil, what else are you going to get from this grass that you don't already have? One could say, explosive residue. But, if there's, I guess that's the logic. A man was shot here. Like, we don't need a sample of his blood out of the dirt. He's dead. But it is odd. It's a very odd thing. It's an odd thing. It's a very odd thing. The whole thing's odd. And people at the hospital kept changing their story in the van and all that kind of stuff. And so you just, I don't know. The whole thing's weird. And I guess there was some big meeting. Well, I don't know. I don't know what all this stuff's all about. But, at some point, I guess it said that Netanyahu gave Charlie Kirk a call and said, hey, let's take this thing to the next level. And he said, no, thank you. And that things got a little tense. And that's that. He just called. Said, oh, no thank you. No thank you, BB. And BB takes no very well. All right, yeah. So anyway, we're going to see some stuff. Who knows? Odds are Tyler Robinson's going to be convicted. If he's not, that's going to be crazy. That'll be crazy.
I don't think he will be.
You don't think he's going to be convicted?
Nope.
Do you think they're going to be able to plant enough reasonable doubt that a jury in Utah will find him not? And Utah is like solid red Republican.
I mean, I don't know all of the counts.
I mean, murder and like. It's going to be murder and in a way that risks public safety.
That one he might get.
But if he didn't take the shot, then how did he risk public safety?
Well, I mean, if he's conspiring, then
sure.
Technically, I mean...
I mean, if he's... Well, they haven't charged him with that, so they'd have to, like, recharge him. But, yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things, the jury's going to be made up of, like... Mormon Republicans, probably. That's Utah. They're all Mormon Republicans. And so I just wonder,
There will be no influence at all.
Yeah. I don't know. I am interested in how this hearing goes. I mean, if he's got a good lawyer, it could be reasonable doubt. It's, it gets tough when, they'll have to cross-examine Twiggs pretty hard to be like, do you have the note that you say you found under the keyboard? Nope. All right. Can you show me the text messages? Oh, you can't. All right. So you just promise that this guy said this. All right. Yeah. It's like, all right. And then, like, maybe they call some of his family up to testify what they think. From Andy No, journalist who follows Antifa stuff pretty hardcore, says that Twiggs has been a member of Trantifa, which is, the trans arm of Antifa, and can be, I don't know, I think he said he can get a little rowdy. So he may have made some mistakes in his life. I don't know. But it's going to be a tall order to play it that much reasonable doubt. Though, I mean, no one said they saw him pull the trigger. The only video of someone on the roof, they haven't talked to the guy that shot it for the trial. And he says he never saw anyone actually shoot. He just saw a guy running with something long in his hand, You know what I'm talking about? And all of a sudden something was on the towel. You know what I'm talking about? All right. Yeah. This went longer than I intended it to. All right.
Just have this theory in my head.
Go ahead.
Just somebody, somebody of like mind like us would be like, wait a second, this guy took a pause, maybe pleasured himself, and then used the towel. Amongst all of this going on,
He's just like, that was a good shot. God, that was a good shot. It's like, we found up there was a towel, screwdriver, and a pair of nipple clamps. Later in the scene, one vibrating butt plug was discovered.
They should have just planted that evidence. That would have been better.
And you remember when at first they were like, their roommate's a furry. And I think they abandoned that. I think they only said that it was a furry, or the kid was a furry because of, it was a UWU, ASCII emoji face. And they were like, furries use that. And you look at it and go, yeah, it's just an emoji, guys.
Such a reach.
Yeah. And then you go, I don't know, I kind of want to see it, because was it a UWU? Was it a UVU? Utah Valley University? Was it that? Did it start off as a V and then someone made it into a W later? I don't know. All right. So apparently, Khomeini had his funeral, and a lot of people were out in the streets. It looked very well attended. I don't know if they all chose to be there, if they were forced to be there. I don't know. Lots of people in the street saying, what a good guy. Of course, he's not a great guy, but whatever. So he had sons Mustafa, Maysam, and Masood praying behind the coffin. So those are his sons that came to visit. And also his daughter, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, 14-month-old granddaughter. Oh, nope, they were all killed. Sorry. Among the remains on display were, all the people who died that were with him. But the Gayatollah was not there. Gayatollah Mojtaba Khomeini's absence from the mourning ceremonies is believed to be due to the dangers of Israeli threats to his life. He has not been seen or heard publicly since his appointment as supreme leader in March. Of course, we heard those reports of his aggressive sexual advances at the medical staff, which I just choose to believe. I don't care. I don't care if it is propaganda. I don't care if Israel planted that intelligence and it's all made up. That's fact for me. I just picturing this bearded Khomeini just starving for some loving.
I just want to know what he thinks about his nickname.
The Gayatollah?
Yeah.
Well, he probably hates it. But he won't come out of his hidey hole. This hidey hole where he's hitting on folks. Whoa. Come on. Body will go in procession through prominent Shia holiday sites in neighboring Iraq, such as Karbala and Najaf, as well as Qom and Mashhad in Iran, where he will be buried. I came here to shout and seek revenge. Golem Riza Sabuni, 29, who works in a grocery store, told the AP news agency, they killed our imam. We should kill their leader, Trump. All right, so that person's not happy about it. Whatever. So they had a big funeral. And the Gayatollah didn't come out. But it is one of those things you do wonder, like, is the Gayatollah alive? Because at first they were like, I don't know, we think he's dead. And then it's like he'd come out and like have things he said. But I mean, he should hide because we killed a lot of his family already, and odds are if he crawls out, we'll probably kill him. I mean, probably. So it does make sense to hide. Or put on a niqab and hijab and all that, go out there, pretend to be a lady, you know?
It's a good idea.
Yeah, no big deal. No big deal. Just go out there and go, I'm just a little lady. Pick up a nice fellow while you're out there, you know, all loving. But it kind of speaks to, you know, one of the challenges here is every time we negotiate with somebody, Israel tended to kill them. And so then we'd negotiate with the next person, Israel would kill. And so I'm not even sure who we're negotiating with. Yeah, I don't think it's the Gayatollah. It's some imam or something, some group, perhaps. But we're negotiating with somebody, and whoever it is, they kind of canceled the ceasefire. They fired on a ship that was trying to pass. Because that's the thing right now is like Iran's not unified on this. Some people are like, yeah, let's get a peace deal. And other people are like, nah, let's not do that. Kind of like how U.S. is like, let's get a peace deal. And our partner in this is like, nah, let's not do peace. Personally, I like the peace idea. We should try that.
Makes much more sense.
But, yeah, ceasefire's off, so we bombed... actually, did I pull anything up after this? Oh. I guess I didn't. But they sent missiles towards, like, Turkey, and...
Oh, good.
They sent them in, towards Qatar, a couple different directions, neighboring countries. Iran was like, F you! So I just started firing stuff off, you know? So we took out a bridge that they use a lot, especially with when trading with China and Russia. And so we took out some bridge and we bombed some sites and I don't know. We bombed some stuff and I guess we're angry at each other again. Oil prices up, gold prices down.
Surprise, surprise.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's funny. I got an alert from Coinbase that was just like, it's like, these attacks are happening right now, blah, blah, blah. And I was starting to read it, and I'm like, I'm not going to read this. Because I just got that alert during the World Cup, like the night before, I guess is really when it came through. But, yeah, they're like, oh, Norway wins with 2 goals from their star Holland, or however you say his name. And of course, that ended up coming true. They got the score. They were off on the score. They said 3-2, ended up being 2-1. But their AI wrote an article, I think, based on prediction markets, and wrote it as truth. So I'm gonna just keep that in mind when I get my alerts from Coinbase that it might be AI writing based on prediction markets. Anyway, here's a fun story, kind of on the periphery, as we know. Before Iran, Israel was also not real big into peace. They had this whole thing going on in the Gaza region. Did we cover this? Did we cover the Gaza?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, okay. There was a skirmish.
Short-lived.
Look at that picture of that. Look at that. That is crazy. I'm just now kind of registering this. A general view of rubble of residential buildings during the Israeli offensive and tents sheltering displaced Palestinians in Gaza. Oh, those okay, like small like camping tents and beach tents. Wait, but I mean, look at the scale of this. Like there's cars in that. I mean, this is so many buildings.
Did Israel make sure to put up the signs that said "Excuse our mess"?
Pardon our dust.
We are future developing right now.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, that's crazy. I know, the satellite imagery should miss one thing, but this view, that's so... Because, it was during the post-October 7th operation, whatever we're going to call it, that, kind of was got more curious about what Gaza looks like, do a little Google Street Map stuff, looked around, pulled up reviews of some of the stores and stuff. Gaza was, it's always they called it a settlement or whatever, and it made you always think of tents. But you go, look at all these apartment buildings and towers, and it's just, row and row of multi-story, multi-family housing and shops at the ground floor and just, normal city stuff, and that is a lot of shit gone. That's crazy. Anyway, so we got Trump's peace, his board of peace has been working. So Hamas says they're going to dissolve. Hamas said on Monday it has dissolved its de facto government in Gaza. You don't want to rule over all this. And was ready to hand over to a group of Palestinian technocrats, a move it described as a step forward in a U.S.-backed plan for the enclave. But Israel dismissed it as a stunt. No way! Israel said, Hamas is definitely still in charge. Don't believe that. The militant group's promise to end its body overseeing ministries, which has run for more than a decade, was a key part of the plan for a civilian-ruled post-war Gaza set out by President Trump after the start of a fragile ceasefire with Israel in October. Bloop. Hamas said the ministries themselves and the staff it had appointed would stay in place, and it would still oversee security and policing in parts of Gaza left under its control following the truce. So they go, we're still in charge of security and police. Yeah. Let's see. Board of Peace says, yeah, we'll believe it when we see it. Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Saar dismissed it. The group's apparent willingness to, quote, make room for a technocratic government is designed to prevent its own disarmament, he said. As long as Hamas retains its weapons, any civilian government will, of course, operate as Hamas dictates. I guess it's not technically wrong. Whatever. Hamas has accused Israel of repeated violations of the ceasefire. And just because you repeatedly fire doesn't mean you haven't ceased firing. You're just firing during the ceasefire. It's no big deal. Why does that keep pulling up here? Whatever. So people are saying it's a demonstration of how serious stuff is. And Israel killed 5 in Gaza, medics say. So anyway, there are still strikes going on. Believe it or not, Hamas says, all right, we'll dissolve our government. These people can be in charge. And then Israel goes, they're all Hamas anyway. I mean, that's essentially what it is. They go, oh, it's not true. Hamas is like, well, we'll still be the police and the security because we are like militants, and Israel keeps killing our people, so I think we'll stay around. And Israel goes, well, as long as they got guns, it's basically still Hamas running things, which could be true, but the military, I mean, lots of regions have militaries with weapons, and they're not taking over the governments. America, for example. Just for example. Do I trust Hamas? No, of course not. Do I trust the Israeli government? No, of course not. If I had to guess, though, it's going to be not good enough, and there will be more rubble. Oh, there was one other part in here somewhere where, here it is. Israeli troops control more than 60% of Gaza, what Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu describes as a buffer zone to deter Hamas attacks. And he says Israel will not withdraw from the buffer zone. Buffer zone, Charlie.
60%.
It's a buffer zone. What if they went halfway?
It's like South Lebanon, you know?
Yeah. But just, I mean, what happens if they got, halfway between where they are now and to Israel? Could you imagine? That'd be like only 30% buffer zone? That's not buff enough.
It's too close.
Yeah. Not to mention, like, when you're on the border, the walls and the gunners and all the security measures that somehow failed that day and allowed Netanyahu to stay in power for a long time and go into war. It's interesting. This is just kind of bubbling into my head. But it's interesting, and that remember after October 7th, very nasty things happened, and everyone's like, why did all the security measures fail on this? Like, all of them failed, and even the amount of time it took the military and law enforcement to respond to the region, it was very long. It took a long time for people to get there for as small as the area was and for the heinous acts that were occurring. And Netanyahu and the government would tell us, this is basically 9/11, but worse if you think about it because of the math. If you take the American population divided by the Israeli population, and you take that number as a multiplier of the number of deceased, you'll see that actually it was a lot more people that died than 9/11. So this is like 4 9/11s or whatever number they're saying. But, they're like, it's 4 times 9/11. That's what's happening here. And 4 times 9/11 allowed Netanyahu to conquer a territory and destroy it that he wanted to get rid of for a very long time. Allowed him to go to war with Iran with the help of America, which he's been pushing for at least 25 years. And is also seems to be allowing him to gobble up southern Lebanon and perhaps more. And so it's interesting that Israel's 9/11 and America's 9/11 both led us to fighting the list of countries that Netanyahu said we needed to fight. It's odd. Plus Gaza. Gaza was kind of cherry on top there, but he didn't tell Congress we needed to fight Gaza, but sure gave him permission to go hard in the paint there. It's almost like both were crazy security failures on a suspicious level with odd responses that justified lots of wars all over the place. Charlie?
Yes.
That's why he makes the big bucks.
I think this is the second chance. I think the real 9/11 was the first chance. It didn't work.
Right.
And now we're back. BB got frustrated. He's like, well, I'll just do it myself. And now he's just going, because all I see is, no matter what, you're Hamas, you're Hamas, you're Hamas, you're Hamas, no matter what.
You're Hezbollah.
Yeah, like, it doesn't matter. Like, whether they're wearing a shirt that says, I am not Hamas, you're Hamas.
Well, if you're Hamas, of course you'd wear the shirt that says, I'm not Hamas, just to throw the people off.
Or one that's pointing says, he's Hamas.
I'm with Hamas. Arrow pointing over there. But no, it is like, because at first you go, yeah, like October 7th, horrible. And they go, we're going to get our hostages back. You go, cool, go get them back. And, anybody that stands between you and those hostages, kill them, obviously. And anybody that, beefs, anybody that stands in your way of you getting your people back, slaughter them. I mean, that's, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yep, slaughter them like animals. I don't even care if it's cruel and unusual. Just go get them.
Mm-hmm.
But then they turned 60% of Gaza into rubble. And then you go, well, that's not exactly what I was going for. And they go, we're not leaving. And Hamas seems to still be running the show. And when they step down, that's just sneaky Hamas. So now it's sneaky Hamas. And then, like, all right. And then they go, oh, and by the way, we have to bomb Iran because of nuclear weapons. So we do. And Trump goes, boom, in and out, no problem. Couple hours, all done. And Netanyahu's like, nah. We're going to go back. We should all go back. And Trump's like, I'm not going back. And then he goes, well, we're going to start bombing. And you either need to evacuate your bases or you need to help us one way or the other because they're going to respond quickly and Americans are going to die. By the way, we launch soon. Marco Rubio says so. And
he's talking to him like this with the finger on the phone.
Yeah, just, whoa. But, according to Rubio, we acted when we did because Israel was going to act at a time that they dictated, and we either had to sit back and watch servicemen get hit with missiles in response by Iran, or we had to jump in to make sure that wouldn't happen. So obviously we jumped in. Doesn't feel like that was our choice. Doesn't feel like it was our choice at all. Every time we try to get out of this war, Israel keeps bombing. I mean, the Lebanon thing, like, in addition to being crazy, just because, like, all right, Hezbollah, I fire over at you, and they go, I fire back at you, and that little area in which all that's occurring, whatever, it's like you fire your little mortar, they fire something back, blow you up, them's the breaks, and if you're getting just fed up with it because you're trying to focus on Iran and all that, you go, you guys, Hezbollah, stop, we know you're paid for by Iran, y'all stop it. And you go, we're going to send some people in. And you kill all them bastards. It's like, okay. But then they started bombing Beirut. And you go, come on. You can't turn Beirut into Gaza. Like, that would be so incredible. That'd be way out of line. Just way out of line. You can't turn Beirut into Gaza. And I want somebody in leadership to at least speak it out loud. Because it's like, they hit one building. They hit two buildings. How many buildings they hit? Just a couple of buildings. You go, right. But we're not going to keep hitting buildings, right? We're going to stop hitting buildings at some point. Because not all the buildings are Hezbollah. I have a feeling that at least some of the units in the building are not Hezbollah. Some of them are probably some dude who needs an apartment. I was like, I need an apartment. That looks like a fine building. It's outside of the center of Beirut. Rent's a little cheaper. There's some tough people in this neighborhood, but that's okay. I'm young. I can handle it. And then, kablee! So, I don't know. Anyway, I guess it just keeps going. It's just going to keep going.
It's a major port.
It's a major port. But you know what would also become a major port? Gaza. I mean, come on. I mean, that's the thing. Like, as they go, you just go, you're going to take all the waterfront property.
Yes.
Just like the Jews come to America. They go to South Florida, take all of our waterfront property, Charlie. All of the waterfront property. Ugh. Yeah, all right. All right, I don't know. Let's see. But don't worry. That's not all. Because we're voting on some stuff going on. And let's hear what ROCANA. This is our National Defense Authorization Act. So this is a lot of funding for our defense. And this is Democrat ROCANA, who I feel like something popped up not too flattering about him recently.
It does sound familiar.
Yeah, like he's been kind of homies with Thomas Massey on things like Epstein. And he's been all right. Like he's the type of guy that like he's a Democrat who's just like who will be like, hey, let's maybe talk to people, and maybe just because a Republican says something doesn't mean it's stupid, and just because a Democrat says something doesn't mean it's right. You know, like maybe we can noodle through some things. And so he's been all right. There was some accusation that came out about him that maybe making a lot of money. Oh, that's what it was. He married rich. I think he has big investment. Oh, he's got his kids have a crazy stock portfolio. That's what it was.
That's convenient.
Yeah, no, his kids have like crazy portfolios. They're young, but they've got great ownership. The kids are stacked, but I think he married into a very wealthy family. So some of it obviously is the congressional tomfoolery and all that kind of stuff, and he's setting up the kids, but he also just married a chick that was loaded. So anyway, here's Ro.
I am leading the fight to strip Section 224, which, believe it or not, integrates our military with Israel's military from the Defense Authorization Act. I led the charge to introduce this amendment during the Armed Services hearing. Now, the ranking member of the Armed Services Committee is also opposed to Section 224. As a senior member of the Armed Services Committee, I will be part of the conference between the House and the Senate. And my highest priority will be to strip this provision from that joint bill. We cannot integrate our military with Israel's and lose our sovereignty.
All right. Sounds pretty reasonable.
Makes sense to me.
So, what 224, as I like to call it. So it creates a Defense Department executive agent. Okay. This agent's responsible for synchronizing cooperative efforts between the United States and Israel. So basically, an entire human being's job is to coordinate efforts between these two countries.
Doesn't Mr. Rubio already do that?
I mean, pretty much. He's got so many jobs.
So many jobs.
Expands bilateral cooperation because we don't cooperate well currently. The initiative is tasked with expanding and accelerating defense technology activities, including research and development, testing and evaluation, integration of defense systems, and industrial cooperation. Also, it directs the Pentagon to integrate Israeli weapons and jointly develop systems into the United States military program of record, facilitate co-production, licensing agreements, and software and stuff, and joint ventures, promote shared military exercises. Okay, whatever, that happens, and information exchanges. That already happens.
That's what I'm saying. Doesn't that we already do that?
Yeah, the Five Eyes. Come on. The executive agent would have significant authority to move Israeli defense technologies into U.S. military acquisition and operational use. Charlie, has there ever been a time that Israel's manufactured something and then weaponized it against a person using it? I mean, we talked about the beepers. I'm not saying they're going to beeper us, but we're just going to take a bunch of their stuff and use it. I mean, they make good stuff. Don't get me wrong. What were you getting all happy about?
Well, it was the point about integration. And my concern is that it's not, when we say U.S., we think about the homeland. But I'm thinking about the bases all over the world.
Oh, in what regard? Like integrating?
It just puts. I mean, not that they don't have it already, but it just puts Israel in every country, essentially. I mean, they are already there. Let's get real, but...
Yeah, so if they have their technology and everything... Well, that's the other thing. Like, licensing agreements, like software, like, dear God, like, who is the... Which nation spies on our nation more than any other nation? According to everyone, it's Israel. It's Israel. It's always been Israel. It always is Israel. They go, my bad. But you know how it goes. And we go, all right. And I'm sure we spy on them too. But they spy on us aggressively. Aggressively. Our allies, they do. And so what? We're going to install their software on our servers?
Yes, we are.
And they're, I think it was Israel that came up with, oh, crap. That software for getting into phones. Oh, shoot. It's got a great name. But it used to be you had to like get access to the phone somehow. Like get them to click a link or something. Oh, it's got a good name. That's going to occur to me later. Slurpee. Yeah, but then apparently 2.0, you just need to know a phone number. And
wow.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how that works, but that's what what's his face, Gavin DeBecker was saying, the security professional. That's gonna come to me later, it's driving me nuts, but it's a real cool name, software. But yeah, so they make a lot of like spy software, and so what? We're just going to be like, oh, we'll take your software, Israel. It probably isn't going to be used to spy on us and get all of our information regardless of what we share.
Yeah, and they're going to upload it to the Pentagon. The Pentagon uses AWS, so they'll just get everything.
Yeah.
Cool. Great.
Yeah, at least China had to steal it, But that's the thing too, like, personnel files, like obviously it's not great that China got it. And we've never actually gotten China removed from our systems. That's the other kind of dirty little secret about it, is all the information they've stolen. We have not actually found how they've done it or ensured they're not still in our system. So who knows? Hopefully, whatever access level they have, that's about as far as it goes, and they're not able to expand that. Hoping's not a plan, but hopefully.
Maybe, hey, Israel, if you're listening, we could use some help if you're going to integrate into our systems.
Well, that's the thing. If you got some crazy software, you go, hey, this can do whatever. This spots terrorists, and it shows their house, and all that. All of a sudden, you bring it onto a different side of the wall, and then just, But it's, regardless, I mean, and not just Israel. Like, we shouldn't, like, we already have the ability to buy software and hardware from whoever the hell we want to.
Were you alluding to cloaked software? Like a cloaked software, like a software that does one thing in one instance but changes what it does?
I imagine it would have a dual purpose. It'd be running behind the scenes doing one operation. I mean, because that's, there's a lot of these things like, like a lot of the games you put on your phone are actually just data. They're just spying on you and stealing all your stuff. Yeah, exactly. And so, you do one thing up here, but then you use other processing power here, or you send a little app into somewhere else that can get executed to do something else. Injections. But yeah, but it's not just because we can already buy stuff. If we want to buy stuff, we can buy stuff. We can already license stuff. That's fine. But like to build a position whose sole job is to really facilitate and expand the degree to which our military is intertwined with Israel's military or any country's military is crazy.
Does that just open up the door? They don't need a bill Any sort of bill after that, they can just do whatever they want. Is that okay?
Like the administrative state, it's like if it builds broad authority, it's like you are tasked with intertwining us. You're tasked with expanding the degree to which we are intertwined, the amount of weapons and software we get from Israel, the amount of information shared. You're tasked with that, and I'm sure you're answerable. I don't know if you're answerable to Congress. I guess you're probably answerable to Congress to a degree, or to the executive to a degree. But just like any of these other department heads, do your job. You pretty much do whatever you want, So yeah, there's not gonna be a vote. There's not gonna be a vote on should we put this Israeli software at the Pentagon. It'll just be installed. There won't be a vote on, should we put Israeli weapon systems on our Middle East bases. It'll just happen. It'll just happen because it's already been authorized. It's already been voted on. And it's, it's what we keep talking about. We don't have any say on how anything's run. We vote for people, and they don't do anything we want them to do. If the person we vote for even wins, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're not going to do anything. They live for the state. The state exists for its own benefits. They're just agents of the state. They want power. Think about how compelling, how tasty the power has to be. I mean, you look at Pelosi, you look at Mitch McConnell, who might be dead right now. What's her face? Dianne Feinstein. All these people who die in office. They don't die surrounded by loved ones. They don't go, well, I want to make sure my last breath is with my beautiful wife or something, or surrounded by my great-grandchildren, grandchildren, and children, and I just want to feel loved in the land that I love, my home city, home state. They don't. They want to die in office, clawing onto the power as long as they can hold on to it until their brain starts to melt out of their ears and they can't pretend anymore. I mean, Dianne Feinstein was being told how to vote, but that there's something there. It's not just getting money. It's not getting money. Money is not enough. And so you go, what kind of power do these people get to wield? Mitch McConnell's probably been on life support for a couple weeks now. I think it was Lindsey Graham or somebody that, who was it? Somebody was like, oh, I just had a 20-minute phone call with my good friend, Mitch McConnell, from Kentucky. And, we talked about all this stuff. He's sharp as a knife, And it's like, oh, isn't this what they did with Joe Biden? This feels like the Joe Biden thing again. And it's like, okay, if Mitch McConnell is having 20-minute conversations, maybe he could call somebody in the press. And then, they asked Donald Trump to go, how's Mitch McConnell doing? He goes, I don't know how the hell he's doing. He's like, I don't know anything about that guy. I don't know. But yeah, that delicious power. But yeah, so these people get in, they just claw onto that power. They hold it forever. They don't let it go. They die in office. They create agencies and positions who can create rules and authorities that we don't get a say in. We don't get asked about. We don't vote anything about them. They just occur. They subjugate us, and we're forced to live under it. And this is just life. And with this position, they go, we're going to create this guy. It's like, cool, what's that guy do? He goes, totally intertwines us with the Israeli military forever. It's like the genocidal freaks, like not the military members, but they're, the government that controls them. And it's like, cool. So does that mean the blood's on our hand then? I guess
it already is.
Yeah, we've got a lot on our hands already. But it's just like, if they do ethnically cleanse Beirut, did we ethnically cleanse Beirut? It's I don't know. It's just one of these, you just go, oh, cool. And if they vote on it, the problem is everyone goes, well, my congressman's one of the good ones, you know? And so they vote, okay, fine, we're going to be totally intertwined. And then the Republican people go, actually, they all go, I support the military, and this is going to make our nation stronger. We needed to authorize the military. We've got this conflict with Iran, and this is not a time to shut down our military. Our fine fighters need paychecks. We don't need to be starving them to death and forcing their families to borrow money right now. Not while there's this conflict with the evil Iranians. And you go, all right, I'll reelect you. And then they'll just do it again. They'll just create some other thing. And we're forced to live under that. And I don't know. Yeah, everybody needs to realize their congressman sucks. If you had Massey, well, that was a good one. Rand Paul is not so bad. I start running out of people. I don't even know. There was Golden in Maine. That was all right. I don't even know if he's stuck with it or if he's quitting. But, like, I don't know. It's one of those things you start going through. You go, yeah, Ro kind of might be all right. He's kind of being a dirtbag of the money thing. And you go, all right. Well, there's... but it's one of those things like, you know, vote your people out. Just vote them out. That's the mother of a mutual friend of ours. That was her position, was just always vote against the incumbent. So whoever's running, sorry, I'm against you if you're the incumbent. Get somebody new in. And when I was a kid, I was like, even in college, I was like, well, I don't know. Maybe it's better to reelect that person. But now it's kind of one of those things I go, yeah, always vote against the incumbent. Always. Sorry, if you're a good one, you're probably not. If you're a good one, you'll figure out what to do. Run again in 2 years, in 6 years, you know? And then we'll vote out the incumbent and you can be back in, you know? But
or influence around you, spread your goodness.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah.
Spread it all over him.
Spread it all over. Get that goodness DNA all over that towel. Towel's a nice crunchy coating. Yeah, Mitch McConnell's wife isn't even concerned about him. She's still in China. Because just as a reminder, Mitch McConnell and his wife have an international shipping company. And the ships to ship goods across the ocean were provided to him for free by the nation of China because his wife's from a prominent Chinese family. But I promise Mitch McConnell does what's good for America and Kentucky since he makes all of his money from China. But Cocaine Mitch is probably a good guy. Anyway, he's probably dead, so we'll just talk trash a little bit until they finally announce his death. But, you know, I just wish these people would step down every once in a while. You don't need to die in office. Pretend people love you. Like, I mean, for real. Just pretend people love you. Maybe make it so you have loved ones. Not Lindsey Graham, of course, but everyone else who has a family, maybe visit them. You know? You don't have too much time left on this earth. You can't just spend it blowing lobbyists. Huh. Okay. Let's we'll kind of end it there for the week. Like and subscribe on the YouTubes and the Rumbles and the Spotifys and the iTunes. Is that still a thing? The Apple Podcasts, whatever it's called these days. We're on all the things. Hit the alerts. Tell your friends. Dear God, tell your friends. That's what we need, Charlie. People telling friends. I'm drowning over here. All right, what do you got?
On this day, what day is it? July 9th, 1948, legendary pitcher Satchel Paige made his Major League Baseball debut at the Cleveland Indians at age 42, making him the oldest rookie in MLB history.
Nice. Yeah, he was the oldest rookie, of course, because he came over from the Negro Leagues. And, yeah, he was not a rookie in professional baseball, just in the MLB. But old Satch, yeah, I don't even have a joke. He's just a good pitcher. All right, bye.